Good morning, everybody. Welcome to IT Live, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It is officially Hate Week, but we still got to talk a little bit about Florida, unfortunately, and what that means for Hate Week and going forward. But first, guys, head over to Inside Texas. You can join for just $1 single and get a full year of access to The Athletic. I'm sure it's going to be a fun week on that board. We also got something else cool cooking up for you. This Friday, y'all, Texas fans, it's on. Join us at Texas Live in Arlington on Friday, October 10th from 11 to 2 for the Red River Reunion. We're teaming up with the Bear Bryant Coach of the Year Award for a free live event the day before Texas OU. We've got two legends joining us, Mac Brown and Barry Switzer. That's cool. It's going to be a blast. Stories, laughs, and a whole lot of football talk. So grab your crew, wear your burnt orange, and kick off rivalry weekend with us. Let's pack Texas Live, support Mac, and drown out the Crimson. At 11 a.m., you've got a live podcast with the Oklahoma Breakdown. Those guys do a great job over there. If you want to get a good scout on OU, you can go check out their podcast. And then following that up at 12, Inside Texas, we're going to have our own live podcast. So that's 2 live podcasts. And then at 1, you've got Mac and Switzer's conversations. It's going to be very cool. That's this Friday, 11 to 2 at Texas Live in Arlington. We will see you there. Cool event. Not necessarily, I would have preferred to come in with a tad more confidence. But I'm sure at 11 a.m., the 11 a.m. slot, they're going to be feeling pretty good. And we'll be like, yep. But it's going to be really cool. Texas Live, if you've never been, is a really awesome venue. And then, of course, we've got a lot of cool podcasts. And, of course, Switzer, who's always a character and fun. And then, you guys know and love Mac. Let's start off here with Brett with the super chat. Not to be negative, but Sark hasn't won a big game versus a team with equal talent since the 2023 Bama game. 0-2 versus OU when they have a competent offense. I don't disagree, because when the talent gets thin, that's where coaching takes over the most. And those little spots, we don't tend to win those, man. And we're in year 5, so I think I've got enough data there to kind of question that early. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting versus OU this week, that's for sure. Any thoughts on this, guys?
And first of all, this is a good time to be negative, Brett, so don't feel bad about that. Nope. After a loss, they just start looking for all these little things that bothers them. Okay, but he won that game in Alabama. He sent, Saban partially off to his retirement. They made the semifinals that year. The next year, they lost to a good Georgia team. Georgia had their number. They had them in the SEC championship. If Bert Auburn could kick a field goal, we're not having this conversation, because, it's just a missed field goal is the whole reason you're having this conversation. So I don't really entertain these arguments. It doesn't do it for me. We know they lost to Ohio State on the road this year. They lost to the best team in the country last year in the quasi national championship game. So those comments don't do it for me. The focus should be on the offensive line, like some of these guys are exchanging war stories about whether or not it was worse to watch it live or on TV. Guys, it's even worse on all 22, so we've got you trumped on that. I care more about the offensive line. Sark, he's got much bigger issues than whether or not he won a game against a team with better talent since 23. You're not supposed to win those games either. When they have better talent, you should. It's the ones that you should win, like Saturday, that are the big problem.
We are going to figure out who the ride or die fans are real quick.
Oh, man. Like this every year.
We've got people that have been reading Inside Texas for 10 years saying, well, guess I'm checking out for the fall. No, you're not.
No, you're not. It's the same guys with the NFL. I'm quitting the NFL because they did X, Y, Z, and they say it every year for a decade, and they're still on. It's like, guys, if being a fan was a choice, like everyone would have been a Patriots fan. But
hey, chill out, man. We're back.
Hey, I was thinking about Charlie. Almost texted you, but I didn't know you're in a sleeping situation with Drake May balling out. Hey, look, you can move the pocket. Did you know that, guys? You can roll out your athletic quarterback.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that is intimately familiar with Drake May and Arch Manning, and Drake May was the comparison he gave for Arch, 2 years ago. So Texas needs to be moving that damn pocket.
Yeah,
definitely.
Whoa! This is clearly not a Fairweather fan.
Oh, Fairweather fan is so fun. Their name never matches their engagement.
Right.
We'll read back up in a second. Got to give props to OU. They are doing better than USC. Somehow Brett has not been fired. Brent has not been fired. We will be fine. I think teams have windows to win chips. Next year, the window will open. Arch played well at the end. Thank you for that donation, Fairweather fans.
That's great. Thank you very much. That'll go towards some college funds.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll send it right to NIL for the portal. So yeah, we've been watching the OU all 22. I've been watching our 22 all 22 and OU's guys. Not a mirage. This is a really good defense, at least. And I'll hear things like the OU offense isn't that good. Okay, flip that and talk. The Texas offense is not good either. So it doesn't matter if that's the case. They're very on fire right now. We're going to need either an inspired performance or the best schematic mix I've seen. But Venables stepping back to like basically a DC and letting some other guys run the top of it, it looks like it's working out for them. And they're playing hard. I got to give it to them, unfortunately.
Yeah, all 11 guys get to the ball on their defense, but I think they get themselves in trouble when they stunt so much. I feel like they get out of their gaps a ton. So hopefully we can hit some creases, man.
Well, that's the problem. They get out of their gaps a bunch, but do we have fast guys that can hit the crease? So it's
will they see the crease? I mean, correct. That's one of those things you got to hit it quick before it disappears.
Yep.
Yeah. I watched the first half of the Kent State, Oklahoma game, the defensive side, and that's when I texted. I think I'm not going to share what I texted, but it doesn't look good. Now here's the thing: Texas is a 3-point favorite, and that's because Vegas understands what most fans don't. That Texas is not likely to play a defensive game like that again. That was an outlier. And so this is probably going to be a lower scoring game. Their quarterback's not all that great. He looks better than last time I saw him. And they've got problems in the interior offensive line as well. I actually like their tackles. Fasusi, man, that guy's athletic. We knew he was athletic coming out of high school, but he looked pretty comfortable out there. Of course, it was Kent State. The right tackle was better than I was expecting as well. But I think the D tackles have to come. They did not bring it. Sark challenged them all last week to get after it. To Sark's credit, nobody was taking Florida lightly. If you heard that, that's nonsense. The D tackles are going to have a monster week for Texas to have a chance.
Yeah, they're looking good, and they were not like you thought they were going to take Kent State off, dude. They're slanting every play, they're running games every play, they're blitzing every play, they're showing 3 high. Like
they're practicing for this week. That's all they were doing.
Yeah, and so it's like it was all a rehearsal, and like I point out to the guys, there's a point at the fourth quarter, OU is up 44-0, and they 0 blitz Kent State, and I'm like, all right, man, they're just putting a ton on tape for us. They're going to move so much with their offensive line that freaks me out. All right, let's keep this pain going. All right, holy heck, fellas, haven't been this down about the team since 5-7. Well, I mean, 5-7 was the last bad season. So, yeah.
This reminds me more of the 8-5 year, honestly, where, we were calling that one a build up the year before the year. Unfortunately, you shouldn't have that in year 5. That year I said that Sark, the OC, was not doing Sark, the head coach, any favors. I felt I was seeing really good things about Sark as a head coach, but, a lot of people weren't seeing it because the results weren't there to the degree they wanted. They went 8-5. But you could see that the program coming together, the improvement in talent, the development. The defense got a lot better year over year that season. So I think Sark did a really good job as a head coach, maybe not as well as an OC. This year, I think the OC is letting down the head coach, and the head coach is letting down the OC. The head coach let himself down by not going to the portal. The offensive line is not good enough. They should have known that. Should have got a running back. So he let down the OC that way. But then I think the OC had a really bad game plan on Saturday, didn't help out the quarterback. So Sark is not covering himself in glory right now. We'll see how the next few weeks go. It's going to be interesting. That offensive line it's going to be impossible to overcome that to the degree that fans would like. There's no savior coming off the bench. Nick Brooks is not a savior. So they've got Neto Umeozulu is obviously not a savior. So we're going to have to hunker down. Hopefully the defense can play a lot better and somehow get them to 9 wins.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that with the 8-5 season. I think the defense, like you said, that's an outlier. I don't see that happening really again. But we never know what the other team's going to look like down the road. Like, there's a lot of front runners, right? You never know who progresses and who gets worse, But we're about to see a lot of teams about to hit their heavy part of their schedule. So they may look good now, but they may not look good later in the season. So I don't know. Let's keep playing football and see what happens, man. I don't know. If Arches, man, he's a superstar in the making. Honestly, you kind of see him carry a team by himself like Saturday. He doesn't get sacked, right? He shrugs people off and makes throws, man. Like you said, Eric, you posted a clip like yesterday or earlier today. Like, man, he takes a hit right in the face and delivers the ball. Like, he has the ability to carry a team and shrug everything off. So I feel like he's going to get, I don't know, carry us to some wins, right? Especially if the defense is playing good.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. So here's to highlight this Josh's other question, if you don't mind. Someone said Arch played well. A lot of people, he did play well. He played well given the consideration that he had no offensive line. Terrible offensive line. If you go to my Twitter, if you're on Twitter, Josh, and go check that clip of him getting drilled, moving laterally within the pocket. First of all, a lot of quarterbacks don't even do that. They don't move laterally like him to find the window. He did that on a number of occasions. He reversed out on another one in the fourth quarter where he should have been sacked, would have been sacked the last 3 years. Reverses out of it, finds space, keeps his eyes down the field. Dalen McCutcheon wide open, puts it right on him. Arch is not perfect, but that offensive line is horrendous. Sark had way too many deep calls where the pocket wasn't going to be there for him. He didn't have time. I think Arch, he could have played faster, processed faster. That's going to come in time. I'm not worried about that. He could have left the pocket earlier on a couple other occasions. But relatively speaking, to that offensive line, the worst offensive line performance I can recall, he did play well. Showed a lot of promise and toughness.
Yeah, all the All-22 channels I've seen, I like to watch the other guys, particularly if they're, former quarterbacks, and they're all just like, this offensive line, dude. Like, it's pretty brutal when you rewatch it. And he's just fighting for his life out there. True or false, Texas doesn't have the athletes on the offensive line to execute Sark's offense. Big human strategy isn't working.
The big human strategy is the joke. You get 5 offensive linemen that fit your scheme. They've got to have a baseline athleticism. Who cares how big they are? Kelvin Banks is the smaller. Is there, outside of one of the centers, is there a smaller starter that they've had outside of Kelvin Banks? By far their best one. Who cares? Do they have the tenacity? Do they move their feet? Are they smart? The big human thing is I've never bought into that. I think that's trash. Go get good offensive linemen that want to play hard, develop. They're not smart. They're not tough. They're not particularly athletic. Some of them shouldn't be playing this year. And so, it's just a total fail on the offensive line.
I don't really have much more to add to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big's not enough, right?
Yeah.
It's got big is great paired with athleticism, paired with scheme knowledge.
I mean, they can't even, they're playing guys that are inexperienced. Inexperienced guys collect penalties. How many did Baker and Brooks have combined? I mean, it's just insane.
It looks good on the graphic.
Baker should have been a guy that sits for 2 years and then plays in his third year. Brooks should not be playing this year at all. His pass protection is woeful. He doesn't know that, sometimes you have to move laterally. His eyes are down, so he's not picking up stunts. He can't play versus OU. They're going to stunt the hell out of him. There's really no savior for the offensive line. Sark's going to have to scheme around it. They're going to have to incorporate the quick passing game to take place of the run game. And they're going to have to run Arch. They're going to have to move the pocket, screens, that sort of thing. The offensive line is not going to do enough to get anywhere close to having a competent offense.
Well, and going big protection, everyone's like, a lot of people are like, you got to go 12 personnel and max protect. Nope. No. The tight ends can't block. You need to go. The whole point of the spread or the air raid, right? We don't have the offensive line to compete against better defensive lines. We have to spread this out. We have to bypass the trenches. That's what we have to do, man. Like, playing big personnel is not the answer here.
I know Sark maybe is not a big fan of it. Could we go like 10 personnel though, man? Really just put the 4 receivers out there, honestly?
Yeah. I don't know why not at that point. And empty.
He's running what he wants to run, the vertical run game, vertical pass game. He doesn't have the run game. He doesn't have the time in the pocket to throw deep on a lot of occasions, unless Arch buys time like he did the other day. That was terrible offensive line play. That touchdown, that's pure Arch. There's no pocket. He has to move within the pocket, which again, this is NFL GMs and scouts are watching that tape going, damn, this guy is legit.
Yeah.
is they're seeing that movement. You've got to be able to make plays within the pocket. He can make plays within the pocket. He's demonstrated he can make plays outside of the pocket, keep his eyes down the field. He was keeping his eyes down the field, even within all that chaos. Found Wingo on that deep ball. Arch is going to be good. He's the least of our problems.
Yeah, I thought he grew up a lot. And once again, he's not perfect. Of course, he was late on throws. Of course, he missed some reads. But if you're in the fire like that, it's going to look a little bit. If you watch a lot of clean pocket stuff, I paid attention to that. Pretty accurate, pretty sound. So that was a tricky part. Dallas Wilson was who Oregon wanted. He is special. So Dallas Wilson had a great game. But what's frustrating to me is, and some players are just special, so that's fine. But, they get their 5-star on the field early. He knows the scheme. He's activating like that. That's where I get frustrated too, because we're paying good prices for 5 stars too. They're either chilling on the bench or not performing at that level because of somehow we say this scheme is complicated. Yes, there's a lot of motion and stuff like that. It's not that complicated though that it's like you can. And if it is that complicated, quit running it.
And not all 5 stars are created equal. Nobody.
That's what I said. Some guys are special, but I'm still.
Nobody's saying that. I don't know. Did anybody have Jamie French as a 5-star? No, he's pilot. Nobody. Jamie French is not in Dallas Wilson's stratosphere. That's just some guys.
And number 1 5-star and number 32 5-star are very different as well, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Your top 5 guy, especially at a skill player, he's usually going to be can't miss early play guy.
Yep. But I want to see some of those. I like a couple.
I mean, we wanted him too, right? So,
I mean, I don't care how you get the guy. If they would have found a Matthew Golden, the guy that they wanted that didn't go to the portal would have been good. Yeah, I think the wide receivers are going to be fine by the end of the year. We'll feel better about it. They might still need to go portal for a wide receiver, but I like that group. That's, again, if you don't have an offensive line, it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. They're not the issue at all.
All right. I don't blame March, but let's not pretend he played great. We're not saying he played great.
And he played great. It's traits. He showed traits, NFL traits. Josh Allen went 7th overall. Go look at his college stats. It's about traits. He's got NFL traits.
Yeah, and he makes some NFL throws. Did he make some dumb throws? Yeah, he did. But we're talking about him on the development curve. From game 1 to that game, there's been a rise, and that's what we're talking about. He's improving, and he's fighting late. But it's not that he played great.
And we're also adjusting for the offensive line. And you can almost say he played good because the offensive line was terrible and Sark didn't really help him out much.
Exactly. The majority of those quarterbacks are sacked. That touchdown to Wingo never happens with the majority of quarterbacks in college football, man. Had a free rusher, just shoved him off.
Right. Yeah, it's traits. They're seeing that. I guarantee scouts are salivating. That guy is exactly who we thought we were. It's just the offensive line isn't. And Arch is not as advanced as we would have hoped. He's still processing a little slow. He was late on the Wisner touchdown. He was late on the Livingston one where Livingston got hurt. If that one's on time, Livingston probably makes that guy miss and takes it to the house because that guy's flying in 100 miles an hour. It's not too hard to make him miss. But I'm excited about Arch. Now, this offensive line, you know what? I'm actually somewhat excited about the clarity that Sark now has. They're going to go at offensive line like they went after defensive tackle. Now, they should have done it last year. They should have gone, they should have brought in a couple portal guys. They didn't need 5D tackles, as it turns out. But Sark has ultimate clarity right now, and he's going to have the gas pedal, and he's also going to have the expectations of the people above him.
Yeah. All right. One final one before we – no, we can hit the break right now, guys. Let's hear a word from Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Any gate can be a tailgate.
Man, y'all are going at it in the chat today. I appreciate it, guys. I'm trying to keep up with all of this.
I told you that we didn't even need to come in with a plan today, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Josh asked, what were the sources inside the building seeing all offseason? Was the O-line so bad that it made the defense look better, or all world concerning how much the defense got bullied versus Florida?
I'm not talking about the defense on a one-off. That's the first time we've seen the D-line get bullied in years and years and years. I'm not using that as an example that's going to reshape my whole offseason. Now, what the offensive line question is 100% fair, but I'm I'm not here to criticize the defense after one poor performance. It was poor. It was unfortunate. But at some point, people and teams earn the benefit of the doubt. Now, that's the problem here is I gave Sark too much of the benefit of the doubt. I see that they go get 5 defensive tackle portal players and no offensive line. I go, wow, they must really like what they have. Now, despite thinking that and hearing that they did like their offensive line, they thought they were talented and lack cohesion. We don't see the talent. And I don't know how they could be that wrong. Honestly, I don't know. But I gave Sark too much of the benefit of the doubt. I felt he earned it. And now, I still give it to him in some regards, but not that. And after this season, if some changes make, we'll shed a little bit more light on some things. But they all know that they should have gone to the portal. There's nothing you can do about it now. It was a mistake. Yeah. We talked about, despite them being somewhat confident on the O-line, we had questions about left guard and right tackle all offseason. We were talking all the offseason offensive line talk, especially in August, was about those 2 positions. And so if we can tell that from the outside, they definitely should have been able to see that from the inside. I'm trying to get a Parker Livingston update. That's why I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah.
I thought you were just on Facebook.
Honestly, you saw second half, they started to play the run better, right? They contained the edge, they set the edge more. They were, instead of boxing, they were actually wrong shouldering guys and kind of stuffing the run. So they made adjustments mid-game against the run game versus Florida. Because most of the yards came in the first half, not so much in the second half. So they made their adjustments. I'm not going, defense is going to be fine, man. Like everything can be fixed on that side. I think Michael Taft said it best. Everybody holds themselves accountable to a high standard on that side of the ball, like really. So I don't have any worry about the defense whatsoever getting fixed. Or it's nothing wrong with it to fix, honestly. Just everybody makes mistakes, man. It happens, right?
Yeah, it's hard to explain. I'm not even going to try to explain it. If you look at if you watch Florida and then you see their stats, that was a very, very improbable outcome. But to the staff's credit, they told the defense, we need to prepare for this offense like that's the Florida team that everybody hyped up all offseason. That running back is really good. He's really, really good. He reminds me a lot of Royce Freeman. He just finds yards that probably shouldn't be there for a big back. He's got great feet, great vision.
He's
balance.
Patient.
Yeah, talent. He's got all the innate running back traits that you look for. But yeah, those first couple drives were terrible. Why are they substituting so much? Why do you have Lance Jackson? And I love Lance Jackson. He's going to be an absolute star. I like Zena. He's going to be really, really good. But why are they out there so early? I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm a certified Lance Jackson guy, and even I was like, what is this, the second or third drive? What are we doing with that? All right, do y'all have any faith in Sark to figure out that you can't run deep routes,
Well, that's why I compared it to the Oklahoma State game in 2022 when Quinn went 19 for 49. That's what it reminded me of. Just banging your head against the wall, expecting some sort of different outcome. They've got to hit the shorter game, the mid-range game. They actually hit a couple of nice throws. The out to Livingston on the first drive. I think Mosley ran that same route in the third or fourth quarter. It's got to be a lot quicker developing, and you got to move the pocket. I mean, geez, man, move the pocket. You got the perfect quarterback for moving the pocket. Give him a high-low read or the ability to take off. And he's gonna make something happen. He's gonna pick up 5 yards with his feet at least.
Yeah.
Also, we think the O-line gets solved with the portal. What's to say there are actually guys that enter it? Didn't seem like there were many. You make guys enter the portal at that point.
First of all, okay, here's what's happening behind the scenes. Everybody is seeing that Texas has massive, massive issues. They know that Texas is going to be a big spender. They know that Texas has to capitalize off Arch's second, probably, hopefully, final year. I don't want to see that guy in year 3. Otherwise, things went haywire again. And Texas has to go all in. And in the day and age, this is where agents are good. They can work in your favor. They're going to be reaching out to you. They'll be proactive. Oregon has 3 guys from the portal starting right now. So that to answer your question, yes, you can find that. There are guys, and really this year, all they needed was a plug-and-play guard. I would trade Murad Watson, Charlie's guy, over a heartbeat for a guard.
Hey, I'm with it. Hey, Ohio State did the same thing. Didn't they go to the portal and go grab 2 guys that they're starting over there? So it's like,
yeah, they made a poor calculation. They went Dabo ball on it on offensive line. That can never happen again. It's tough, man. It's tough. It'll be interesting to see how things shake out after the season.
Yeah, the big lesson, Josh, is it's not necessarily waiting for guys to enter. There's ways to make things happen.
Yeah.
Now, is Texas going to get charged? Yep. As soon as everyone sees it. So Texas is going to have to pay up, but
it's fine. There's going to be a lot of restructuring going on. If guys don't start playing better, there's going to be, it's going to be interesting. We're entering a new age. You don't necessarily cut people, but you tell them, hey, look, here's the pay cut. You're either in or you're out. And then that money gets repurposed to a bigger need.
Yeah. Do you guys think Arch's composure in 24 as opposed to now is because he felt more comfortable behind that offensive line and wasn't sped? I mean, he definitely had better pieces around him last year. There's no question about that. He did look more composed versus UTSA, Mississippi State, all of that. So I think there's a factor that he doesn't have the receiving threats in the offensive line of last year, but I still think he's improving with his composure as well.
He's not pressing like he was last year. He was playing free, low expectations. He wasn't the starter.
Right.
He was doing things that we saw on Saturday too. That famous Mississippi State dime in the bucket to DeAndre Moore is getting crushed in the middle of it. That's the guy he is. That's who he is. I think the first few weeks he was pressing. Quite obviously, he's pressing. He's playing a lot better. Still a little slow. Processing a little slow. Mechanics can still be a little wonky as he surveys the field. To his credit, he is trying to survey the whole field.
Right.
It's all going to come together for him. When he does, you just need to make sure that he's got the pieces around so you can really capitalize. Sark probably needs to be thinking a little bit more selfishly next year on the offense. You're going to lose some pieces on defense. Just keep that a top 10, top 15 unit. They don't have to be top 3. Keep it a top 20 unit and just make sure that your offense is actually the all gas, no brakes stuff that fans have been clamoring for since he was at Alabama.
Yep.
Got to go all in on offense. O-line. If wide receiver doesn't step up or if DeAndre Moore leaves, automatically go to the portal. Running back, you can't rely on Derek Cooper to come in and be a solve. You spend a lot of money on Derek Cooper. We're seeing young running backs struggle right now. Fans should make zero assumptions about a true freshman running back coming in and being Adrian Peterson. It's not going to happen.
You can also evaluate G5 running backs, like the Ahmad Hardy thing, right? Sorry to bring him up again, but I said when we played versus ULM, that's a great back. Paul loves Bothwell.
I don't know about Bothwell, but I was watching the Pats last night, and I don't follow the NFL like I once did. Just don't have time, especially after a loss. But it's 10:00 at night. I can't sleep because I'm thinking about all this stuff, Texas football. What did I get wrong? All these things, and I'm watching Ramondre Stevenson. I'm like, damn, Ramondre Stevenson is playing still. That guy I love. That guy had great feet. He was explosive, and he's a JUCO guy. And Texas made a play for him. That's the only reason I was familiar with him. And I thought Texas had a chance for him. You can find Ramondre Stevenson's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, he was a JUCO guy. They exist. Just go find them. They've got to have that burst, though. And Ramondre, even though he was 230 pounds, and you could see it still last night, he's got that burst. A really good running back is pretty hard to miss, like the super talented ones. And I think Christian Clark had it. I don't know if he has it now, but he definitely didn't have the developmental year. Baxter, I don't know if he has it. I think he did have it. But they once those injuries happened, they should have just automatically said, no matter what, we're taking a portal running back.
Where they translate a lot better too. All right. I'm having a little bit of internet issues on my side. Are y'all good?
Yeah, you're like you were asleep for a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say I froze up. If I hop off, I'll just restart it. But as long as y'all are good, we can carry
Looks like Nick Brooks and Pass Pro over there.
Yeah, I'm freezing up on my side for whatever reason. All right, seriously, Kyle Flood, does he need help evaluating talent? How do we have so many misses? That or it's hubris, right?
Well, I mean, we could just, if you want to kill a little time, we could talk about each cycle. They had to go big in 2022. I think that was one of the big things that got them back in it they were never out of it with Arch, but they go 5-7. A lot of people assume that Texas is done in that recruitment. I said, no, they were not, but they had to kill that offensive line class, and they did that. So they took 7 in 2022. When you take a big class like that, and they're also as talented as they were, people aren't necessarily lining up to play behind them and develop. So they went with a developmental class. Okay. Trevor Goosby is going to be the hit in that, and he's going to be really good next year. The good news is we do think Trevor Goosby is going to be back next season. But they took a lot of other developmental guys. We can call them reaches. They are to some degree. They're a reach to a team like Texas, but you can find some really good offensive linemen as long as they develop for a while. Christian Jones is a really good example of that. He wasn't highly rated at all. But Christian Jones had some pretty unique traits. So that was a developmental class. And then in the following cycle, 2024, they went too small. And by that, I mean they probably went too small in size and too small in numbers. That was Brandon Baker, Daniel Cruz, and Nate Kibble, right? So only 3 guys. 2 of them are interior. One is a right tackle that was expensive and on the smaller side that was going to require a little bit of development. And so that was a bit of an issue as well. And then 2025, it's too early to even care about that. Nick Brooks is playing way before his time. Yeah. And so, you know, they took Peyton Kirtland in one class. That was a bad mental eval. He was a big guy with good traits. They're chasing large human. The large human fallacy is probably what we should call it. And so, you know, I think the evaluation has been okay. It's just the bigger issue is they had a bad plan for this specific year. They were counting on high school guys they never should have. They should have gone portal. It's just, you know, Connor Stroh was always a bit of a reach, but you never know what's going to come out with that guy because he's a hard worker. And, you know, you give that guy, you would never expect him to play before his 4th year in the program. And, of course, he's a redshirt guy that's going to play 5 years. So he's playing way before. We shouldn't even know anything about Connor Stroh right now. We were shocked that he was starting at Ohio State. We didn't talk about him all off season. And then the week before the season, they're starting him. So the big miss was they didn't evaluate what they had coming back, and they didn't make corrections for it. You know, they should have known Neto was not playable, and Brandon Baker was a year ahead of his time, or a year early. So yeah, they messed up on the succession planning, is what I call it.
Yeah, I guess you heard about success a little bit, right? Kelvin Banks is a one-off. He leaves in 3 years. Ken Williams leaves a bit early. So some guys are playing way before they should, like you just said, because some guys left early, right? And then some maybe didn't work out and they transferred out. So, I mean, you have that as well, right? If Banks and Williams come back, you got 3 guys with DJ Campbell along with Husson. It looks a lot better, but still.
Yeah, we knew Banks was a 3-year guy probably before he took a snap, and then definitely after his second game when he shut down Bama in 2022 at home. He played against 4 first-round edges that year, played very well. He was a 3-year guy. So they right then and there, they should have been, all right, who's our left tackle in 2025, right? Because you know it's not going to be Kelvin Banks. And Trevor Gooseby, he won it last year. There's no harm in that. And Trevor's playing okay. Trevor's probably not playing as well as we would have liked, but you know, he's not the issue at all. But one more year for him, he's going to be really, really good. So they're going to get their 4 years out of him. And that takes a lot of pressure off the portal. Now it's not going to be cheap getting him back. But they're not going to have to be looking for a left tackle in the portal, which is very hard to find.
Yeah. Y'all can hear me all good?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here, guys. I'm back. I think Arch grew up. Wide receiver got open. Mosley looked good. Yeah, there were two plays I called out with Mosley that I thought he was lazy with. Arch is making a bad throw, and he just kind of stuck his hand out. Those I'm still kind of like, but watching the All-22, he's the best route runner. Like, it's not even close to me. He understands how to set up DBs. He just looks good out there. He looks right. So Mosley's probably one of the – it's not, he's the receiver I'm most excited to see more for. Now, this is a bad offense, so you can get caught in the forever, is this guy the savior? Is this guy the savior? But I did think Mosley looked good in the All-22. So shout out to him. He has a good understanding.
I think he's knocking off a little rust, which is understandable. He probably could have attacked the ball a little bit more at times. I don't know. I don't think his game speed is quite there yet, but that's his first game in a very long time. I like him. That's going to be he's going to be a big piece of this offense going forward. I mean, if they're already looking for him after he missed all of August, barely played in 7-on-7 during the summer, if they're already looking for him, you can tell he's going to play a big role this year.
Yeah. Oklahoma going to win. All right, man. All right. All right, man.
First of all, I love that guy's username.
Yeah, Ohio State will show up too, man. They're active fans. When we play Ohio State, man, it's a lot of fun. They show up.
And we had some moments in this game, Homer, that we were supposed to lose, and we found a way to win in this rivalry. So I don't know. Remember the whole finger?
I can't do magic analysis. Like it's the whole yes, we should lose, but rivalry game. Like that's not analysis. Like I have to go with what I'm actually seeing. Yes, could there be an upset? And even though Texas is favored, I don't agree with Texas being favored when I look over the All-22.
I got a Livingston update for the gentleman that was asking about him. No structural damage, nothing broken, nothing torn, just extremely sore
Yeah.
and bruised up, lots of swelling. I mean, that was a missile coming straight out of his leg. Thankfully, his foot was not on the ground.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're probably, I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. So he's going to, I think he's going to try to play Saturday. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of pain. It's just, I can't imagine the bruising. I'm sure it looked like a car accident, but nothing that's going to keep him out for a prolonged period of time. They got really lucky. I can't believe he held on to that ball either.
Either, man.
Yeah, he tries, man. And Arch could have thrown a better ball there too.
It was late. It was late.
Definitely.
He's going to make a move on that guy because that guy's coming in full speed. Oh yeah, I mean, you could have moved on him a couple of different ways, and he's probably scoring. But
But shout out to him.
Gave up.
They live together. Hopefully he's making Arch go back and forth to the freezer to get the ice for it.
Yeah. I'm surprised nothing worse than that came of it because that looked like it sucked.
It was bad.
Hypothetically, who is your OC hire next year? I like the UCLA coach. Already moving on to OC hires. That'll be.
Look at the recency bias on that, man. The guy they worked Penn State and now
carried him off the field. And I said, what is it?
Well, here's my thing. I'm down with the OC hire because I don't like head coach OCs. I don't like. It puts you in awkward situations. Like, say the offense does start failing.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to get fresh eyes and new ideas in that regard. And also, I just like my head coach to be head coach. Like Sark has been absolutely until this year killer on like the management side, right? Like was winning NIL. It's hard to say this year, but I thought he did great there. I just don't like it. Not because of Sark. I just don't like that. I want a new OC. Now it can still be Sark's play design, but I want fresh eyes. I want fresh thoughts there, and I want someone in game. I want my head coach seeing everything big picture and not having to look down at the sheet.
I'm so close to breaking the glass and writing that up, but I know, man, it's so close. That was just so frustrating. But while we're on the subject of UCLA, there's another sort of hire you never make, and that's a running back coach to head coach. You don't do it. They don't have enough on their plate. The next running back coach to head coach, there's got to be a stop somewhere, offensive coordinator, something where you just can't. Deshaun Foster, that was never, ever, ever going to work. What were they thinking? Just never do running back coach, Stan Drayton at Temple. It's just never going to work. There's not enough on their plate. There's not enough management skills. There's not enough schematically on their plate. There's no program management. Your running back room is a small room. It's not even an offensive line room or a D-line room. It's just never going to work. But yeah, I'm moving towards the OC thing to happen. I don't know. I'm going to think about it some more.
Was Pregnon always to Oregon, or did we not match the offer?
Hey, where's the background noise coming from?
Let's see. Whenever we talk, I muted Eric, I muted Charlie, and now do you hear background noise now?
Nope.
All right. Yeah, it's coming from Charlie somehow. So just wait a second. Was Pregnon always to Oregon, or did we not match the offer?
Yeah, he went in for Oregon. Texas tried, and he basically was already a done deal to Oregon.
Okay. Let's see if we still hear it. I don't hear it anymore. Right? We should be good.
I think I got ghosts or something. Nobody's here. Now I'm worried.
No, it's feedback from the computer is what does it. All right. Someone pumped sunshine up my hindside. It still hurts from Saturday. I don't got a lot of sunshine for you, brother. What do you got, Eric?
I'm sorry. I have nothing for you, Sugar King Derek.
If you need happiness this season, I probably don't have it for you. But this is not like the end of the Sark era by any stretch. I'm not even putting dirt on their grave yet for this season. We just need to recalibrate expectations. We want to see growth. Who is in for next year? Can the defense keep their head above water and make every game interesting? Can they steal a couple games where maybe they shouldn't? Let's talk about next year next week if we need to. I want to see how this week goes. This rivalry, I've got my suspicions, Connor, but if you remember the TCU game in what was it, 2015 or 2016, TCU wins 50-3 or 50-7 the week before OU. And Texas goes out there and beats OU rather convincingly.
No, I wasn't even laughing at that. I was laughing at just thinking what it's going to be like next week if we lose to OU. Like that's that. I was just like, God, that's going to be.
I'm not ready to think about it.
Everyone's getting fired. Yeah, I wasn't laughing at that. It was just, I can't imagine the board in YouTube with the OU loss. All right, guys, before we keep going, though, let's hear from Andre the Lawyer.
Texans know when you're injured, there's one name that gets results: Andre the Lawyer. Trust the team that has secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans win their injury cases. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Don't let the insurance companies tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the Lawyer will fight for you. His principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait. Call 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. Contact info is in the description.
It sure is, guys. All right, what happened to our? Hey, you got to get going. You got to get up on the mic, dude. You got to put your body into it. That's how you get a good voiceover going.
Ed Flanders on the.
You got to get the Red Bull. You just got to. You got to
like it.
You got to embody the role. All right, what happened to our screen game? Might as well do more since our line guys run past them anyways. Here's the thing: OU is really good against the screen game. Like they are a forward defense. If it is in front of them, they will attack you.
Yeah.
You have to hit them from behind. So that's the big factor. Like I get bypassing the line for the screen game. I don't think that's the answer for OU. I think they are going to eat that up. But it is a huge difference from last year, just in general, if we're talking about the season. I mean, Quinn, it was like every other play. It makes me wonder if they know that the screen game is not an option too, but I don't know. What do you think, Eric?
I don't know why it wouldn't be. I mean, we've seen Arch throw too much heat on shorter passes. You know, maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. Need more misdirection. Like I said, man, they need to move the pocket with Arch. More RPOs, I think. They tried RPOs in the first half, and it didn't go very well, but they probably should have come back to it in the second half. They didn't really – did they ever catch him in a blitz? I know they brought that one of the sacks that brought a blitz that Christian Clark got blown up on. You know, what you do when they get blitzed is you throw to the spot where the guy's blitzing from. That happened to Texas a couple times. You know, I see other teams do it. I don't see Texas really do it. But you got to slow down that. You've got to slow down the pass rush, and they didn't do a good job of that at all. Didn't even seem like they tried, honestly. I mean, their solve for that was to leave the tight ends in the block, which, as Connor mentioned earlier, that didn't work.
And we knew that wasn't going to work since Ohio State. That's what's frustrating to me as well. It's like, if a dumb YouTuber can see it, what's going on? I know there's much more factors to running a team than just seeing one thing, but that's what's a little bit annoying. Screens suck. I'm also part of the screen suck camp, but the NFL is doing pretty well with them right now. I just don't think that's the answer specifically versus OU, even though that's a great option generally.
I feel like it has to be set up. We tried the tight end mid screen, and the number 15 was just waiting on it. Like, he looked right at him. He's like, "Okay, I know this is coming." So, like, we have to maybe new designs, you know, set it up, because we kind of run the same screens. People know when it's coming, and they got to tell, you know, they're hinting where they're going most of the time. It's like, oh, I'm sure the guys are just pointing it out. Like, here comes the screen, here comes this. So maybe we need some new play designs on the screens. I'm not sure. But we need a running game and everything else to kind of work to help set it up.
Yeah. Yeah. And the problem is, like, Sark's screens were famous. Like, there was a screen literally called the Sark screen, and it was going around in the coaching community. And all coaches take that as a slight. And so that throwback toss, like, they're all like, you're not doing that anymore. And that screen started to get diminished too. So there's always that factor. Like, they like to beat Sark specifically.
Yeah.
They study him a lot. Coaches have big egos. So as soon as one starts getting a lot of praise, the other one's like, we'll see about that. I'm grasping for straws at this point. Anything we can do. Spread it out, man. Like, spread it out, take guys out of the box. Arch is better in the spread. It also lets Arch run easier. We don't need to integrate all the tight ends. We're using injuries in really weird ways. Injuries is not a speed player. Why is he trying to beat guys on man across the field? Like, sit him down in the zone, simplify this. That's what you have to do. You don't want guys in the box here. The tight ends are not capable of max protecting. Spread it out, man.
Yes.
All right, let's see what we got here. We got a lot of strong arch
I
feelings.
don't understand the importance of offensive line to the quarterback play in there. That's what we got.
Yeah, that's going to be the big kind of trick there. Let's talk a little defense too. So here's my thing. I heard, it's an anomaly from the defense. Could be like one single incident. But what worries me is that was the first attacking offense with talent. So Ohio State has talent, but they weren't attacking. They were using the threat of the wide receivers to play very conservative. This was the first time I've seen an offense with talent that said, we're going to come at you, and that's what it looked like. That makes me nervous. Now, we have to see next week, whatever, that creates the trend line. But I definitely didn't want to see that from the defense. And so that's kind of a part that's freaking me out a little bit more. I think missing Manny Muhammad there was clearly a factor. But that's what I need to see versus the defense. On the flip side, OU, now they're saying that Venables saying something that likely he won't play or something like that, which now makes me think he will play because of how the OU gamesmanship goes. But I watched Hawkins versus Kent State. OU fans were mad at him. He's improved significantly from last year. I can say that.
Yeah, so I watched a little bit of that too. He looked different.
Yeah, he looks different. So now he has a huge problem. The first time he throws this 6 sidearm and it completes and it's through a window, I'm like, that's a cool trick. Then he does it again, and then he does it again, and then he does it again, and I'm like, okay, the mechanics are weird. He's not being sound in that regard, but this is not the Michael Hawkins of last year. Of course, he's not Mateer, but they're going to try to spread it out. This offense is all quick game, kind of the stuff that we're talking about with Texas. So it's going to be interesting to see what our defense can do versus their offense. I think our offense is going to struggle mightily. It's really which offense can like get to 21, it feels like. So that's going to be the big factor with the defense. Can we stop the QB run? Can we stop the over the middle passing? That kind of stuff is a big factor for me. With Oklahoma. Mateer is out. Yeah. Have they announced? I know that they've said hinted that he could be out, but
I heard that, we've got some sources on the OU side. I heard he's not going to practice all week, which is pretty obvious, but it's going to be a game time decision depending on grip strength, which he's going to be out. Pretty sure he's going to be out.
Yeah. And when you're looking at Hawkins, like I said, he's not a world beater, but he's absolutely improved in the past year. So that's going to be something we need to kind of pay attention to as we break down throughout the week. It's just going
to come down to which defensive line dominates the game.
Yeah, to say, look, we can't run the ball, but neither can they, right? I don't know, man. That's gonna be a brutal game.
Yeah, they can't run the ball either. Their running back room is not special. Jaden Ott is so predictable. He just runs outside. Just defend when Ott is in, defend the perimeter. And that's how it was at Cal too. I don't know how he got that many numbers at Cal because it's all outside running is all he does. They don't have a crazy room, but the inverse is we don't have a crazy room. These teams are kind of similar in some ways. It's just both offenses have their struggles, but OU's struggles are less than Texas's struggles. Their defenses are pretty similar. So they play a different style, though. Texas doesn't attack like that. Venables does. You have to counter them. I told Eric earlier, they're top. I think they're number 1 in defensive success rate. You can't put together drives against them, but they're 120 something in explosiveness. So all it is counter punching. That's all it is. When they send the blitz, you throw the fade. You saw Auburn try to do it, right? But the receiver has to catch that, and Arch has to make it accurate. You have to do that 3 or 4 times, and you have to score. An explosive in the middle of the field means nothing. They'll just move 40 yards and then shut you down again. You got to score on them when they do that. And, their corners will do pass interference. So there's some things there. But this is a very YOLO style. Luckily, Arch plays well in that kind of style. And I think that's what we're going to need to see because I can't rely on this offensive line at all versus their defensive line and the style they play. It's all games. It's all slants. It's all there's a lot going on. They put a lot mentally on the offensive line.
You know what, though? You know what? You go back and look at Jackson Arnold. He had some room to operate and run a few times when they went to that 3 high never looks, right? Arch is pretty much the same kind of runner, maybe even better than what he was. And so their safeties sit flat-footed a lot in 3 high. I think they can get caught, especially on the post route, by Wingo. Unless he carries him, everybody else underneath is open because you really can't get to Arch. The zone spreads out, gets thin, so there'll be more windows. If he can find a way to use his legs, I think he can hurt OU's defense that way. I mean, I'm not counting on the offensive line to help him, but the quarterback, Auburn's quarterback, I can't even say his last name. I forgot his last name that quick, but he had opportunities to run multiple times. I feel like if Arch has that same opportunity, he can extend drives that way.
So I'm just trying to follow this conversation. It's some of the most ridiculous. How bad must KJ Lacey be? Why are you talking about KJ Lacey? How is a true freshman quarterback going to do anything right now? Yes, you're right. Trey Owens will transfer, but how bad must KJ Lacey be? That makes no sense.
Y'all aren't even going with the good controversial take of Caldwell. Like, at least pick Caldwell. Like,
I was getting to that one too. That's silly
Yeah.
too, because Caldwell is not going to be your quarterback next year, and he's not. He is good at the RPO game. If they had to go pure RPO and Arch came out, whatever, I mean they'd be fine there. But that was a great first throw. He came in and did. He's a good quarterback.
he got to his late read. He got to a late read, progressed on the money. I was like, all right.
He'd probably be starting at Auburn, where he's from. Speaking of Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, the thing that worries me about you do have to hit deep versus this defense, but there's not a lot of time to read that. Like, it's almost like you have to quick throw deep. So it's just like auto fade. Like, as soon as you're like having to sit back, wing goes open on the post because the safety is done, sack, so it's just like, it's okay. Here comes the blitz, Hut, Livingston, please God. Like that's kind of what the style of the deep passing has to be. And you can catch them. And they have really bad rushing defense explosivity because they do move so much. Remember the Michigan backside read where Haynes went for like 80? Mm-hmm. Same thing. Like, those do come open, but you have to have a back that can read that fast, realize that they missed, and has the acceleration to now blast. So it's like, even if you read it and you're not fast enough, it still doesn't matter. And so that's what you kind of need going forward. I think Arch is going to have to be the one for me that's going to be able to expose all of that stuff. So that's the big key. We'll have to see. I think it's going to be a classic what the hell is going on fest with Hawkins and Arch.
Well, we'll see. Now we'll see what Sark's going to come out with a game plan that would have worked against Florida. Watch. It's going to be, perimeter stuff. Much quicker. Arch is going to look comfortable. This is just how football works. You look terrible one week, and then the next week you look moderately better. You make the adjustments that you wish you would have made the week before. Sark now knows with very clear idea that his offensive line is a massive liability. He's got to make changes. He's got to make changes that get the ball out quicker. The changes we were talking about. They got to move the pocket. Got to rely on. How many called runs did Arch have? On called runs, I think he only had like 2, maybe.
Yeah, design stuff. No,
it was design.
Yeah, they've got to have to design some runs. It's in the playbook. We know it's in the playbook. We saw it against UTEP. They've got to run quarterback counter and some other things, and then Sark's going to have to get him, catch him in some calls. He's going to have to perform a lot better. He's got the ability to do it, obviously, and the defense has the ability to play a lot better. This is not a game that. It's you can see why OU or why Vegas at least thinks Texas has a chance, but I doubt I picked Texas just based on the offensive line and OU's very active defensive line, active, athletic, deep defensive line. But there's a path for victory for sure.
I wonder how much I'd have to ask Paul how much Vegas includes like recruiting into that, into those numbers as well. Because if you factor in any of the talent rankings, Texas is going to get a big boost, but that's not what we're seeing.
Here's a question from Ryan Nelson. Baxter out again this week. Like I wrote on InsideTexas.com last week, I anticipate he'll be questionable this week. I don't know. That's based on what I heard. I didn't think he would play against Florida. And this week I think he's going to be questionable. I'll know Thursday night whether or not he's playing.
Yeah. It was a 2017 game where we kind of ran QB power with Sam a ton and scored on OU like 3 or 4 times. Like, they couldn't stop it for whatever reason. And we hit a couple passes, couple screen passes and here and there, but it was kind of like the Sam Elegant show. It might have to be the Arch show, the exact same.
Probably 2018.
2018.
Yeah, when they won 48-45.
Yeah, that game.
Guys are open. He can't hold the ball 5 to 6 seconds and walk into the line. So there are some examples of that, like in the All-22, I can see it. Like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times where you're like, yeah, that's there. You have to put that in context of that he's under siege. So even like when he's not under siege, he's still anticipating a little bit being under siege. And so there's that factor. And if I go to any All-22, I will find you 4 instances of a quarterback missing a read. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. That's just football, especially at college level.
Man, it happens all the time.
The announcer is constantly saying that, like, this guy's open and down the field. I see it all at 22. They're wrong. You can't just believe the announcers every time.
There were times you could think There was times he's getting sacked with the wide receivers' backs are all to him, haven't even gotten out of their break.
So-
haven't even done their break yet.
But this is also a big problem I have. The wide receivers look too late in general. Like they don't look, and they also do this with blitz. This is why corner blitz works really well against us. There's not a lot of look back and communicate. Like you'll just see the corner come and the wide receiver just take off on his break. I mean, like you need to notify somebody. The wide receivers have this problem, and they've had this problem for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
They're not looking at the ball quick enough. And especially when you know your quarterback is under siege, you know this O-line is not good, you need to be looking immediately as well. So, but there was plenty of throws he's late on. Not saying that, but the concept of just like guys are open in general, it's just not true. I can see it. Can also show you
Every throw needs to have a check
no
down.
one's open.
Every throw needs to have a check down or a hot.
1,000%. Pull Bama, hand the ball off to Stroh. Hey man, get creative.
Have you seen him move?
All right, so this guy says Bobby's mayo spreader. Interesting. So you're saying that the whole offense is crap? No, we're saying the offensive line is crap, and then everything is downhill of that.
I would say that the offensive line is really bad. The receivers are okay. The wide receiver or the running back room is below average, and Arch clearly needs time. That's what I would say.
I'm not sure the wide receiver room is below average. They're downhill.
I didn't say they're below. I said the running back room is below average.
Well, running back room is wide receivers fine. Yeah,
I think they're okay.
Yeah, they're
Keep
fine
playing with those guys.
but there's nothing special going on there right now. So it's not great. It's a sliding scale. Yeah, I would say that's a fair way to. It's a sliding scale. There's nothing elite about it. I'll tell you that right now. All right. Yeah, imagine Michael Penix.
Hey, we still have time to talk about the punt block.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a fun one. When that happened, I was just like, oh no. Like I was like the defense, special teams. I was like, what is going on, man? Who was that again, Eric? You know who?
Marshall Landwehr.
Okay, yeah. Not necessarily our frontline players, but I don't know how you don't know to make that block.
He might not have understood where the punter was lined up, and he maybe thought the other guy was going to get it because sometimes they offset the punter a little bit. But I don't know. He was taking the right guy the whole time, and the last minute changed his mind, and it opened right up for him. Wild.
He's getting inspired by the offensive line. Dude, they drive me nuts. If they stick their arm out one more time and act like they're doing something, they stick their arm out like they're passing off, and then literally the defensive tackles will just be like they're almost just like, how you're going to stop a 300-pound man like this? Like it doesn't even make sense. I think we've talked about offensive line enough, but I just need to.
That's frustrating, man.
Yeah,
that's just pure laziness, not trying.
Yeah. I'm not doing the Bill Belichick comment. The beginning of it was funny because I was going to say we saw him at NC. Real issue is we're just constantly bad in situational football and in the same spots over and over. The staff has been together too long to have a team that looks so kitten weak, like a sick one. Their situational football on offense is horrific. If you want to go to my Twitter, you can see me posting that matchup. Good coaching is winning third down, fourth down, red zone. We're near the hundreds on all of that. Like it's bad. And if your third down's really bad, your whole sequencing of play calls are bad.
All right. They need to get an OC, man. I'm not there yet.
Oh, no.
I'm not saying that.
Eric, there's nothing to argue with. It is what it is.
I need to get an OC, but I'm not saying that.
I am saying that. Eric is free from it. Me, Texas Homer, am proclaiming that is the case. And so we need to figure it out. And we struggled with it last year. This is not a new thing. It's just this bad. There's a reason the red zone hasn't worked.
If Cam Williams, everybody's talking about Cam Williams, had he come back, it'd be better. They'd probably still have the same amount of penalties, but it would be more ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you grab with OC though? Think about it. It has to be somebody who marriage with his ideals and plays.
I've seen Kendall Briles mentioned twice. Kendall Briles will never get at Texas. They would never hire him in a million years, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, right? Because right now there's the mythological OC out there that will solve everything, but the problem is we got to hire a human being, and they'll have strengths and weaknesses too.
The beginning of it, had they had an OC, he would have probably been more likely to call out the offensive line. That would have been a set of eyes that wasn't didn't have all this trust in Kyle Flood, he would have said, "Look, man, this offensive line ain't going to cut it. You're going to need to take a harder look at it. You need more conflict on that side of the ball, probably."
We ignored the red flags, but now we know when your O-line can't get pushed versus UTEP, you're going to have a bad time. Is it coaching, technique, or strength conditioning?
I'm starting to see people try to go at Torrey Beck, and it's like, man, what are we doing here, man? Like, we talked about his development and all people getting ready for the draft, how these players develop, they look faster, they're stronger and all this. So I honestly think it's technique and just pure out heart, man. Like they try to catch the momentum of defensive linemen. It just does not work. Like they need an old school 5-man sled and drive it all day in practice. I don't think they have it. And get up under the chutes. If you get too high, you hit your head on the bar. Like they need to go back to old school, learn how to block and just drive people. That's all they need to do all practice. Forget everything else, just block all practice.
There's probably something to it about them not squatting heavy enough in practice or in the gym. They focus on explosiveness a lot. How fast does the bar move? Sometimes you need that bar to move really slowly because you're under a whole lot of weight. I think that the offensive line in particular should probably focus more on adding pure strength.
Yeah, and your system can work for X room and not be the same system you need for another room too, right? Like it's not across the board on what you can focus with too.
Right. Everybody's body is designed different and it's got a different utility. Explosiveness is great, particularly on defense and at skill position players. Sometimes you need to be movable. And guys are getting a run through. You don't want to sacrifice your quickness at all, right? You can't just be a heavy-footed power lifter. But they don't have the baseline strength. And when I hear about some of the strength numbers, I know they've gone up. The guys have gone on campus. That's just a function of them going from 18 to 19 to 19 to 20.
Right.
The strength numbers aren't nearly what you would expect. Like there should be a ton of guys in there squatting 600 pounds with ease, and I'm not sure that there are.
Well, and if you lift weights, you'll know if the weight's too heavy for you and you're not strong enough, what happens to your technique? It looks awful.
Yeah.
And so if you're seeing a lot of bad technique too, it can be that it's being taught, but also that you're not strong enough. Like if I'm trying to bench 700 pounds, I bench 600, but if I'm trying to bench 700, you're going to start looking weird. Right. And so it's also that factor.
They're also physicality. I saw Paul was talking about physicality. Playing with certainty is going to make you more physical too. If you know what you're doing, you're going to fire off the ball with much greater purpose than if you're overthinking, confused, or whatever.
All right, Chad, y'all were absolutely awesome today. We didn't even have to do any of our planned topics because y'all brought it. Keep doing that. Keep doing that, y'all. And then we're going to have a bunch more content for you this week. Y'all know what's up. Also, check out those shorts we got going. People are liking those as well. Go to InsideTexas.com, join for just $1 and get a full year of access to The Athletic. Come hang out with us, guys, on Friday. That's the breakdown, 11 a.m. Oklahoma breakdown, 12 p.m. Our live podcast, 1 o'clock. Matt and Barry Switzer. If you got some free time Friday, guys, we would love to see you. Once again, it's free. Texas Live is an awesome spot. Chad, thank you. Coach Eric, thank you guys as well. And have a wonderful Monday. Peace.